I boosted my metabolism and lost 50 pounds in 4 months. And no, I didn't use supplements, steroids, or shortcuts. I did it by making 4 simple upgrades that actually drive fat loss. So in this video, I'm going to coach you through them step by step so your body can also turn into a fat burning machine. Now, a lot of people like to throw the word metabolism around without actually knowing what it means. So instead of overcomplicating it, I want to simplify it for you. Your metabolism isn't one thing. It's made up of 4 parts that all add up to how many calories you burn in a day. And the easiest way to understand this is to just imagine your metabolism like a car. The first part is going to be the engine. The bigger the engine, the more fuel it burns. So a V8 engine is going to burn more gas than a 4-cylinder. That's obvious, right? Even if both cars were just parked. That's your baseline fuel burn. The second part is how much you drive the car around all day. The more miles you put on it, the more gas you're going to burn. The third part is how hard you drive when you do drive. Do you cruise it or do you floor it? And the fourth part is a type of fuel you put in the tank. Cheap fuel is going to burn differently than high quality fuel. So all 4 of those things together determine how much fuel you burn in a day. And that's it. That's your metabolism. In sciencey terms, the engine is your base metabolic rate, the calories you burn just by existing. The miles you drive is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, the calories you burn just by moving. How fast you drive is your exercise activity thermogenesis, the calories you burn working out. And the type of fuel is a thermic effect of food, the calories you burn eating certain types of food. And this is also the easiest way to understand the difference between a slow and a fast metabolism. If you think about it like a car, the small Italian car that sits in your grandma's driveway most of the day is obviously going to burn less fuel than a race car that's built bigger and does 100 laps. And that's it, that's the difference. It's just how much the fuel system burns based on its size and how it's used. So you don't magically boost your metabolism, you boost it by upgrading the parts that burn fuel. And those upgrades are exactly what I focused on to lose 50 pounds in 4 months. So let's start with the first one. To upgrade your metabolism, the first lever is going to be your base metabolic rate. Now, here's the honest part. A lot of this is genetic. So if you're 5'3", you're not going to magically turn into a 6'5" human. So you can't completely change your frame, but there is one thing you can control: how much muscle you carry. A body with more muscle burns more fuel at rest than a body with less muscle, even when you're doing nothing. That's why building muscle matters, not to look like a bodybuilder, but to raise your baseline. And that's the first upgrade I made. And if I'm being honest with you, this first upgrade takes the longest. I mean, I've been training for 10 years, and it hasn't been a perfect 10 years, but over that time, I've slowly added muscle compared to where I started. That's why I don't love fat loss approaches that only focus on the scale and ignore strength and muscle entirely. Because when you lose weight without giving your body a reason to keep muscle, GLP-1s, your body's gonna get smaller, and so is the engine. So you're not just losing weight, you're also kind of downgrading. So this first upgrade isn't about rushing results, it's about building a better baseline over time. And here's the important part. You don't need 10 years to start benefiting from this. You just need to start lifting consistently enough to keep muscle while you lose fat. Now, even though this upgrade takes the longest, upgrade number 2 is where most people can make progress immediately. And this is the part that everyone skips because it doesn't feel impressive. This upgrade has nothing to do with the gym. It's not about sweating your face off. The second upgrade is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's just how much you move throughout the day. So remember, this is the miles you put on the car. The more you drive it, the more fuel it burns. So for you, that's going to be walking, being on your feet, moving your body between things. No exercise, it's just movement. And this matters way more than people think because most people sit all day and then they try to fix that with a hard workout. But an hour in the gym doesn't undo 8 hours of not moving. And this was one of the biggest changes I made. Before, I only really moved when I was like training clients or lifting weight. Outside of that, I was sitting, editing, driving, doing nothing. So I made this part stupidly simple and I just started walking more. That's it. No special routine or inclined treadmill nonsense. I just made sure that I moved more every day. My steps went up and my calorie burn went up. And fat loss got easier. And here's what I like about this. This didn't feel like effort. Like there was no mental resistance. No, I don't feel like working out because walking doesn't require motivation, right? You don't need willpower to just move a little bit more. And that's why this works so well. So this upgrade doesn't have to fight your schedule. It can fit right into it. And this upgrade alone is enough to move the needle for a lot of people. Which brings us to upgrade number 3, because this is where I think most people think they need to go harder, and that's usually where they end up screwing up. The third upgrade is exercise activity thermogenesis. But let's get back to the car for a second. Now imagine you're driving a car at 90 miles per hour every single day. No brakes, no easing up, just flooring it everywhere you go. Now what happens? You burn through fuel fast, sure, but you're also gonna run the car into the ground. More wear, more breakdowns, more repairs, and a higher chance of crashing and burning. And that's exactly what people do with exercise. They think fat loss means more workouts, harder workouts, intense cardio. So they go all out every session, every week, and then they wonder why they're exhausted, sore, hungry, burnt out, and quitting 3 weeks later. What you probably didn't know is that exercise is not the biggest calorie burner. It's the biggest recovery demand. So if you push yourself too hard, your body's gonna start fighting back. You'll get more tired, more stressed, more hunger, and worse sleep. So instead of burning fat, you'll just end up making everything harder than it needs to be. What actually works is a middle ground, doing just enough to burn calories while still being able to recover. And then that's it. No punishment workouts. And for me, that was simple, repeatable training. A few hard sets, a few good lifts, enough to stimulate muscle and burn calories without wrecking my recovery. Because fat loss isn't about how hard you can go today, it's about what you can recover from and repeat next week. Now, up to this point, we've talked about building a better engine, moving more, and training in a way you can actually recover from. But none of that matters if the plan still feels like a constant fight, because if fat loss feels miserable, you're not gonna stick to it. And this is where most people expect food to become the hardest part. Restriction, rules, cutting everything out. But that's not what this upgrade is about. The fourth and final upgrade isn't about eating less, it's about eating in a way that supports everything you're already doing. And this is where food stops feeling like the enemy and starts working with your body instead of against it. So the type of fuel you put in the tank definitely matters. Cheap fuel is gonna burn differently than high quality fuel. It doesn't run as clean, it doesn't last as long, and it usually causes more problems down the line. Food works the exact same way. Your body actually burns calories just digesting food, and that's real. It's a real thing. It's called the thermic effect of food. And some foods cost your body more energy to digest than others. Protein costs more than carbs, whole foods cost more than ultra-processed junk, and foods that keep you full reduce how much you eat later without willpower. So this upgrade isn't about eating less, it's about eating better fuel. More protein, higher volume foods, and less ultra-processed stuff that makes you hungrier an hour later. And when you improve food quality, you're not constantly negotiating with yourself. You're not fighting hunger all day, and food stops being this emotional battle and just becomes fuel. And when you stack this upgrade on top of the other 3, more muscle, more daily movement, recoverable training, better fuel, you don't end up boosting your metabolism with hacks, you boost it by upgrading the parts the science has always cared about. Now, everything I just explained is the why, but if you want to know the how, the exact way I trained, ate, and structured all of this without overthinking, you can watch this video right here.